What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Nerds Deep. It's December 10th. We are almost through this shit show of a year. And pardon us, we have the gaming awards going on right now. Just kind of stick with us. We're going to just kind of chime in as needed, but we got a lot of stuff to cover this week. Phil is back. Woo, we missed you, Phil.
Yeah, I would like to sincerely apologize if anybody missed me, but I totally went to death mode, and I'm back. I'm alive. It's true.
Phil is back. We missed him dearly. We really
Phil is
did.
Back again.
Oh, man. So let's kick it off with some Nintendo stuff. Nintendo actually, we got a lot of crap to cover. Nintendo Switch sold more than the PS5 and Xbox consoles in November. Obviously, there's two reasons for that. You can actually buy a Switch where it's tough as shit to find a next-gen Series X, S, or PS5. But, it still shows the need and the want is out there for the Switch. And you got to admit that's pretty admirable that people are still picking these things up as fast and as often as they are. And obviously, Nintendo's just printing money. With Joy-Con issues, there's no solution out there yet. Nintendo's still under fire for that. It is what it is. You either have to live with it or just, I guess, continue to cry about it. But it's not going away. And we have a Switch revision coming probably first half of 2021. For those watching the Game Awards, it looks like there's a T-Rex about to eat Vin Diesel.
By the way, that was Vin Diesel, and you need to focus on the notes.
Yeah, Vin Diesel is like fighting a T-Rex. This is pretty crazy. I had to say Vin Diesel because I'm like, that shit looks like Vin Diesel. But I am Groot.
That is Vin Diesel. All right.
This is going to be really bad tonight, FYI.
It'll be over in about 50 minutes. It's going to be over. We're going to be back on point. But anyways, I'm taking it. I've got a lot to talk about when it comes to this stuff. But anyways, go ahead.
Oh, man. Slaughter us in the comments, please. This is kind of crazy. So the Nintendo Switch has been the best-selling console for, I think it's like 24 months straight. It's pretty crazy how legitimate and relevant it stays, even though, through Animal Crossing, they just took another award tonight, obviously for a reason. They sold so many, it's kind of unified video game culture and society in general that has Nintendo products. Like Animal Crossing was there to help us through COVID. And the Switch is still relevant. It's not going to be a thing of the past here anytime soon. Even though we have a Switch revision coming with better graphics, better display, it's not going to change too much because the Switch family is going to be alive and well for the next at least 2 years, probably more like.
Here's the thing about Nintendo. It was already proven. What was the dude's name from Sega? Nagoriyama?
That's Death Stranding. That's not Sega. My bad.
Nope. I was talking about the guy. That kind of shit on Nintendo. Who was saying that Nintendo is kind of a kids family friendly console. So that's their reign. I mean, that's where they exist. So moving from that, I'm not surprised that Nintendo will continue to hold a grasp on the market.
But
in some form or fashion, they have locked themselves in as the holy grail of video games.
Wow, that arc looks crazy. So you're right. Nintendo hardware is bar none best quality. I mean, yes, the Joy-Con issue is a major problem, but they're covering the warranty for free, and there's no, I guess, limit on that. But the hardware itself works, and in that right, I have to give Nintendo credit that the Switch hardware is really good for what it is. And to that being a family-friendly console, yes, obviously a lot of the games are engineered around being family friendly, but the Switch actually has quite a few mature games, some nudity, some risque topics. Like the Switch is really open Nintendo to be more of that, I guess, 2020 brand, to where they acknowledge like there's really good games out there that may touch on a subject that Nintendo would never even remotely acknowledge before, as well as the hardware itself. It holds up. It holds a charge for hours, unlike Sega with their like 2 hour gameplay on their Game Gear Minis. As far as a portable console, it truly is great for what it is. And props to Nintendo for that. But yeah, fuck them for the Joy-Con drift because that's bullshit. They could have fixed it. They're just ignoring it. And for some more Switch news, we have the Ninja Gaiden Sigma Trilogy has been found listed on a retail website. You know, we have more Ninja Gaiden coming, and you know that's great for you Switch owners out there. It will include the Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Will also launch on PlayStation 4. There's no release date yet, but expect that news to be coming in the near future. Double Dragon, what? I'm a huge Double Dragon fan from freaking Nintendo, Super Nintendo days. Love some Double Dragon. That was like one of my friends' favorites, to where we just talked shit. We would steal each other's, like, they would drop a chicken, which is like health, and you'd bend down and whoop, and you would health up. And we would always fuck with each other, and we would steal each other's health when we totally didn't need it, but just to screw the other guy. And the graphics were great in the day. The gameplay was stellar. You know, grabbing pipes and beating the shit out of beatniks and whatnot. Like, oh, Double Dragon is my thing. I loved it. So, yeah, that's coming very, very soon. Looks like you'll be able to get your hands on the co-op beat 'em up Monday, December 21st. So that's coming really quick. Yeah, the trailer just dropped, so guys, check that out. It looks way better than Double Dragon ever did before, so I will be playing the snot out of that. Final Fantasy VII's, yeah, we got a new character to Super Smash Bros. Woo, big news.
Sephiroth, hello.
Yeah, yeah, woohoo, another Smash character. Like, I get it.
Great. I want Smash Brothers to come on to PC. Like, come on, fucking give it up. Yeah. Give it up already. Just
come on, Nintendo.
Just do it.
It's 2020. Let's get some.
We already had to do Pummel Party because apparently we couldn't have Super Mario Party. So, come on, like.
I mean, you got Fall Guys, you got Fortnite. Why can't we have Smash Brothers? You know, come on now. Like, let's open it up. I think Super Smash Bros., which they've canceled tournaments due to COVID and due to other issues, the mods, downloading mods, and mods actually being acknowledged by the tournaments that actually extends and helps gameplay. So there's been a lot of like faux pas behind the scenes about how they're canceling these tournaments because of some, I guess, up in the air concerns about the current mods that are out that are acknowledged by the Super Smash Brothers, I guess, culture, that it's kind of a needed thing or it's helped the gameplay. But Nintendo is putting the kibosh in true Nintendo fashion. They're just like, yeah, I don't care. Cancel tournament. You can't stream it. We'll sue you. So Super Smash Brothers, like Phil and I have said, like, let's bring that thing to PC. Let's bring it cross-platform.
Let's fucking do it. I'm sorry, pardon the French.
Oh, you're good. I've already dropped
some. On the PC, God, people would be.
Hell yeah, but it's not like you're gonna cheat on the PC. Like you're gonna be pushing the hell out of your keyboard just like you would a controller. I think it would,
right.
But I wouldn't cheat, but that's not stopping the rest of the world.
True, but still, like, there's ways around it.
Oh yeah, no, it would still be really cool.
And you know, Nintendo will regulate the hell out of it.
Oh yeah.
damn, I don't know what it's playing on Game Awards, but
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
sick. So Capcom trademark renewals. We've got Capcom news again. Capcom coming out. Oh, that's the Odyssey that we've been talking about. So Capcom files for new trademarks for Dino Crisis, Power Stone, Darkstalkers, and more favorites. Dude, Darkstalkers. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Wow. So, yeah, it's been pretty good for Capcom fans, except for the hackers. But you know what? Capcom's better than that. They're just going to kind of rise above that. And out of the gate, here we go again with more Capcom stuff. After years of inexplicably running from their rich legacy, the publisher has launched a string of successful franchise revivals. You got Resident Evil 7, Devil May Cry 5, Mega Man 11. I mean, we've got, the popular Monster Hunter World. So these are all Capcom mainstays.
First of all, I just want to point out one bit of that I think nobody really, it kind of went under the radar. If you were a Dreamcast fan, you may remember a game called Power Stone. That game freaking ruled. That was the game that you went over to your friend's house, you all had beers, and you traded out, just taking turns beating the crap out of each other. Power Stone, I am so stoked to see. I want that game back in my life. It was so much fun to play. It was it's kind of like the first time you played Super Bomberman.
Yes. Oh man.
But it was like a 3D, it was like a 3D action game, and like of course you're going after the Power Stones and all that jazz, but whatever. Power Stone is one of those games that really, like, I really want to see a remake of it. I want it in my hands. The only reason I missed the Dreamcast is because of the Power Stone. That game was just like iconic to me.
And Dreamcast always kind of gets pooped on, but that console had some really good titles that played super good.
Oh,
and
Dreamcast
for the time was the highest end hardware for at least 2 years, 3 years. So
yeah.
Props to Dreamcast, and I love that console. The VMU was totally worthless, but it was like the coolest feature you never used.
Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Hello. Oh, shit, yeah. So according to some leaks, Capcom filed trademarks for prepare for this list because there's some big ones: Dino Crisis, Darkstalkers, Power Stone, Bionic Commando, Mega Man Legends, BAM. You got Cyberbots, Puzzle Fighter, Breath of Fire, Ghost and Goblins, another big one.
Go to hell.
Fuck
that game, dude. Fuck that game. That's the most impossible game in the entire world, man. Fuck that game.
Rival School, Strider, Samurai Sword, Power Gear, Pro Gear, Last Duel, Capcom Commando, Vulgus, Black Tiger, and more. So yeah, Capcom is going to make some huge waves in 21. So I'm really looking forward to that. Capcom's one of those brands that really never got sullied over the years and has always stayed pretty awesome.
Capcom has always stayed true to their games.
Yeah.
There's
next gen. They may not be like the latest and greatest graphics, but their graphics are good and they always play so freaking fluid.
Right. They know how to put a fighting game together for sure.
For sure, yeah.
They also know how to put together good arcade games. If honestly, and I'm just going to throw this out there, the Neo Geo would have never been as successful as it was if it weren't for Capcom throwing its fucking name in the ring.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like, I thought Neo Geo was like a Capcom console for a long time.
I know, because Capcom was so good at making arcade games. But yeah, anytime I see a Capcom on something, it's like, okay, it's definitely going to be arcade and it's going to be rad. I mean, even if
it's still going to be good. Like, a crap Capcom game is still good. So we're going to kind of bounce back and forth. Pardon the craziness here. So Facebook. It's been in the news this week for a lot of lawsuits, I believe by like infringement, 48 states involved. Facebook may be facing the possible sale of Instagram, WhatsApp. That would be great. Instagram is held back hugely by Facebook right now, and by all means, get rid of it.
They
Peddle it off.
will be they will be broken up. The latest news that I heard is that they will be. First of all, I understand the suit's not over, but here's what's going to happen: is Facebook is going to the WhatsApp and Instagram. They're going to be separated. It is going to go through whether Facebook says they want it or not. They can't pay off enough people. This is the same crap that happened between Microsoft and say, what was that lawsuit? Oh, when they did the RDOS or it was, or no, it was MS-DOS and DS-DOS. It's the same thing that happened to Microsoft. This is what's happening to Facebook right now. So they are going to be broken up. It's a total antitrust thing. Facebook would like to portray that you're willingly signing up for Facebook for free services that you demand and that nobody else can offer, and that's complete crap. So Facebook is going to get dissolved a little bit. That's my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. But
And
I just
it needs to happen. Yeah, I mean, Phil, you're right. It needs to happen. It's going to make social networking better overnight. And Zuckerberg's just, dude, he needs to fall, like straight up. The guy,
is a pile of dog shit.
And honestly, the Facebook in itself needs to probably stay. Like, I don't know how else to connect with family.
Facebook has turned into a giant turd.
Well, there's Twitter.
There's
but it's not really as widely recognized
email,
by,
text
let's say,
messages.
the older folks.
Zhang in our chat is saying that they fucked up with the Oculus thing, which I think is absolutely 100% incorrect. They did make mistakes, but I don't think that's what broke the camel's back.
No.
I think the domination was because of the market overall. They've simply tried to snuff people out, and that's exactly what happens to you when you why am I missing the word right now? When you try to take over a market and say that you're the biggest social media
Monopoly.
platform. Yeah, a monopoly. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the biggest thing that broke the camel's back for me was when all this started. A lot of musicians were trying to, get their word out and get their music out on what they had at the time, which was Facebook. And then Facebook started being like, nope.
Yeah, so I think Facebook started seeing the DMCA knocking at the door, which, by the way, I can go into an entire diatribe about DMCA and copyright law and all this other shit.
Yeah.
But to save some time, I will say that Facebook did make that mistake because it used to be where you could make band pages and be prolific on that. They wanted you to pay to boost your posts.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, because Facebook's free and it will always be.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, to pay to boost your posts, I mean, that's just no different than paid advertising in any other way, shape, or form. But what the problem I had with the whole DMCA thing is that not only were they were taking down people who were streaming covers, which, okay, whatever, but they were taking down bands who were playing nothing but their originals.
Right.
And that was the big problem for me, was those are their original music. They have the rights to do whatever the fuck they want with it. And then they're taking down the people, not allowing them to play their music live on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's kind of stupid.
Yep. Facebook definitely choked themselves. That's for sure.
Yep.
So,
Anyway.
obviously, we have the game show awards going on right now. We'll kind of cover that here in a later bit of our show, just because it's still happening. Cyberpunk is hot freaking news of today. So CD Projekt Red has trolled the world in the past couple weeks about how, they're really hyping everybody up even more than is possible for Cyberpunk 2077. And they've released tweets of like, hey, just saying there was never a game, like really kind of being coy and funny, but really pissing a lot of people off because there was there's just been so much negativeness behind this game, and here we are. It's released today officially.
The delays, most importantly, and here's the part that really pissed me off about it, is it finally came out. It released where we were sitting there saying, it's probably going to be delayed again. But it released, and the story seems in depth. And if you have any sense of Twitch, you will immediately see everybody playing this game. So spoiler alert, don't go on Twitch if you don't want to see the game, I guess. But I watched a lot of it, and the story seems very deep. The problem is that all these graphical things and that we were expecting simply aren't happening.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a good game in the next 2 months? Yes. I will agree with that.
I will agree with that as well.
Is this going to be a shit show for console users for the next 2 months? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a good friend that picked it up today, downloaded on his PS4 Pro, and did the update. And all inclusive, we are 111 gigs in, including the game and the update.
Call of Duty.
That's unexcusable.
It's not unexcusable considering the massive amount that's going into it. It's not like Call of Duty where they're just reserving maps in your space.
Yeah.
Like, there's not data packs that you can delete to get rid of parts of the game. It's literally a whole game on 111 gigabytes.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I mean,
and honestly, for how big the game is supposed to be, like as far as playable stuff and side missions and main missions and all that other shit, that's not terrible.
So here's why I say that. It's not that the game isn't that big. It's not that the game isn't that good or potentially that good. It's that the update was like 48 gigs. And what people have said that reviewed and alpha tested, beta tested said that once this update hit, 2 days ago for them, they completely changed the experience on consoles. So why I say it's unexcusable is A, the size, and B, that it changed everything right before release. And here we are in Woodville with PS4, with Xbox Ones. But, I mean, come on. Why? They're in crunch time behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to fix things like mad. It tells me yet again the game wasn't freaking ready. And they're pushing it out to everybody because they had to. I mean, lo and behold, Cyberpunk had to be a thing. But here we are. And Billy is right here, day one on PC, experienced bugs, which is going to happen. He hasn't experienced much, but I've watched guys streaming this on consoles, and it's not playable in certain parts. And that's not cool.
No, it's not.
It shouldn't have major popping to the point where the game bricks itself to the point where, like, it's not playable.
To be fair, we did go to a point where we were thinking that Cyberpunk 2077 was actually going to be one of those memes where it was like, can it run Crysis? Like, can it run Cyberpunk? Like we were thinking they were spending that much time into it that you'd be able to amp up your graphic settings and all that other jazz, and actually be able to like. If we always know that when a game comes to a console, it's always dampened down to fit that console, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to PC, you're supposed to be able to open that thing up as wide open as you can and experience it, just like the Crysis.
And I will attest to that because, I mean, as Phil and Jeff and a lot of you in the chat know, Phil just upgraded his computer. I upgraded my computer. And I can't even run that game at full settings right now because it will stutter and lag.
Yeah, so I have a feeling there's going to be some optimization patches and stuff like that. It's just really disappointing after being put off like 7 times or something like that.
Yeah,
it was delayed a million times, and we're 8 years in the making. Which, by the way, if you ever played Cyberpunk on the tabletop, this is a big deal. I mean, if you're a big fan of the game, I think it will work. Like, I think that in the end, Cyberpunk is going to be an amazing game. I'm just disappointed with the way that it launched because
I will say at least they, and I'm saying this lightly, but at least they didn't pull a No Man's Sky in the beginning where they hyped
It
up
was
the
a
game totally, and then like none of what they said was in the game. It looks like everything they said is in the game. They're just having graphical glitches and optimization problems. So
Right.
at least the game is there, and what they hyped up and announced that this game was going to be, it looks like it's all there. I haven't gotten very far in it yet, but so far the only thing I've noticed that I didn't like was some graphical issues.
And I mean, props to them for that. It does appear the game is very in depth. Does appear that you can waste your time on the campaign mode with trailers for the first a couple hours anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's okay if it takes that much time just to get through the trailer or through the cinematics. Like that's okay because of how hyped this game is. Because if it's truly like a 100-hour game,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset going through a few hours of cinematics. Like that's okay. But I wanted to play good, and I feel like if you're a CD Projekt Red fan, if you were a Cyberpunk fanboy or girl, and you've got it downloaded on your PS4 or Xbox One right now, and you're trying to enjoy it, and you're having to stumble through all the bugs, like that sucks. I feel bad for you. I really do.
Yeah, and I have a friend of mine who said it keeps crashing.
In a lot of the games, it's 720p. The renders and the artifacts and the assets are pretty freaking PS1-ish. A lot of people have taken screenshots, and it's pretty sad in some spots. Now that'll all be fixed. That'll all be trimmed out. Like I agree. And if in a few months this game's going to be rock solid, but
it did get met with a lot of memes with comparative graphics to things from like the PlayStation, PS2, Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is hilarious. So if you haven't looked it up, look up the Cyberpunk 2077 memes and laugh your ass off for a little bit. But yeah, the unwieldy Peni is probably the most hilarious thing I've seen. Zhang actually had a really good picture he dropped in my Discord earlier today where I was just like, oh my God.
I gotta go see it.
Yeah, well, anyways.
So we're not going to beat the Cyberpunk drum too much tonight because
I think okay. Let me say this as my final thought is I'm thinking along the terms of where you guys are and saying that we kind of felt like the launch was going to be sketchy, and when it came out, it is sketchy, but they're going to fix it. And I know that there's a setting that I saw a lot of streamers hitting where they're feeding data back to Projekt Red. So that way they can fix a lot of this, which makes sense considering what they're trying to launch it on with so many different variations of hardware. So I only expect it to get better. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until everything gets nice and patched up so I can play the game in a smooth experience. Listen to you, early adopters. Maybe put the brakes on it. Stop this stupid attitude of getting so hyped up that you got to have it day one and make the developers work harder for a better product. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say one thing I do like that they did pay attention to was the whole idea of having an option to turn off copyrighted music and also having an option to turn off the nudity.
Yes. And I blame Twitch for this, and shame on them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think it's
shame on the record companies, and shame on the record companies who license music to video games, not understanding that it's going to end up on a stream to help sell more copies of the game that get royalty kickbacks to the license holders.
And not to mention that, more exposure for the music. Like, come on.
I have the biggest middle fingers for the record companies right now. I was just gonna say, fuck you guys.
I have the little mature thing clicked. You can say fuck all you fucking want.
All right. Sorry. I'm trying to control my. But seriously, I have the biggest middle fingers out for the record companies right now because they are so stupid not to pick up on stuff like this. And now they want to just kill everything off, and they think that's going to make them better and they're going to get more money. No, you're going to pinch pennies and just might as well commit business suicide.
Yeah. So who saw that? Phil's not wrong. But we got to move on. Got to keep kicking. Halo Infinite and here we are. They've kind of released an official launch window, and it looks like it's going to be fall 2021. And that's farther than a lot of people thought. Honestly, I don't really care. Basically, they've delayed it an entire year from when they promised it would happen. And
yeah, it's a launch game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a launch game. We're supposed to be playing it already. So, yeah, if it's buggy, so help them God, it's going to be a bad deal. But I feel it's probably going to be playing just fine. They've apologized for the assets. The facial animations were terrible in the trailer. I got to say the team has come out and acknowledged all of those faults, and props to the team for saying that.
And I still have to bring this up because it still holds true. At the time of the Xbox Series X showcase, that was the best looking game they had on offer.
Yeah, we were hyped for it.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that we looked at and we said, oh, that's actually pretty cool.
It's good. I thought it was smooth. I thought it reminded me of the original Halo, which is kind of why I fell in love with the series anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I guess some of the artifacts were lackluster. It didn't look next gen-y. It didn't like the face.
Ultimately, everything was trash about that presentation except for Halo Infinite, and then they botched it.
Yeah. I mean, is the internet wrong for blading Microsoft? No. Damn it. It looked good. I think.
I mean, honestly, I think I'd rather have them admit to their faults and delay it than to have released it and have massive issues.
This is true.
What was going to happen? 100%. It was going to be released and it was going to be a freaking mess, just like Halo 3 or whatever it was.
I'm glad they took a step back and said, you know what, we screwed up, and they're at least trying to fix it versus the old school Microsoft mentality of like, screw it, we're just going to push it.
Just send it.
Just send it. Yeah.
I can send it. You guys got this. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a Stadia owner, we're proud of you for sticking with it. And you're treated to a decent Cyberpunk experience right now. So props to the Stadia owners out there.
Props for being hardcore.
Wow. Yeah. So Stadia is coming to iOS via web browser, which is, not uncommon. That's
Stadia owners. Sorry, I'm in a giggly mood right now.
Yeah. There's not many of you out there, and to those three guys, that's yeah. So Xbox has got some big news with iOS owners as well. Let's just get into it there. So the iOS version of xCloud or xCloud Gaming will be hitting spring 21. That's a huge look. I don't, I'm an Apple owner. I get it. And Xbox, xCloud, the gaming service, let it hit iOS, let it be the wealth of people with iPhones. The fact of the matter is it's more cross-platform gaming, and the more Microsoft can seed into those, multiple venues of A, revenue, and B, us enjoying games on all platforms, the better it's going to be for PC.
Yeah.
Just, it's if it's optimized for everything, it's going to be the best on PC, and that's less reasons for me to buy Series X or S. And
I think it's important to point out that the more cloud service we get, the better that. Let me say this hand in fist. So the better we get at cloud gaming, the more it's going to put emphasis on the infrastructure that we desperately need to take advantage of it. So it's kind of a win for consumers, but at the same time, now we're in a waiting game. All this stuff has to be built out so that way we can actually take advantage of it. That is realistically a good business option, right? So if I could spend $50 a month to Stadia's point and play at 4K 60 frames per second, all I need is a freaking controller and a TV. But I'm totally down for that. But it
Absolutely.
has to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like the ultimate, where you don't need any hardware. You buy $100 controller and pay 10, 15 bucks a month, and it's like Netflix, but you're gaming. I am absolutely, sign me the hell up now.
Yeah, but it has
But
to work.
it's going to take a couple years for it to be polished. But please, people, the gaming, the cloud gaming is 100% a reality, and it will be greater and greater as we go. And now and I'll bring it back to freaking Halo Infinite and Cyberpunk, where these games, if they're not optimized upon release, you talk about cloud gaming, you will get slaughtered in cloud gaming with returns, like what Steam has pioneered.
Yep.
And all of these issues will become a much bigger problem if everyone's on cloud gaming and no one has dedicated hardware to kind of overcome these weaknesses. And if I'm looking at my 4K TV with a controller and I got popping issues and stutters, I'm going to be super pissed, and I'm going to contact my credit card company and start shutting shit down now. So that's where a lot of these botched releases will have to get better. They just have to.
Yeah.
So PS5 beats toilet paper in Google's top search of 2020. That's freaking awesome.
Okay.
I was not ready. I'm sorry. I was not ready for that line. But I just read it again. PS5 beats toilet paper in Google's top searches of 2020.
Next gen, baby. That's important shit, man.
Oh, fuck me running. Oh my
God. I will
Well,
buy the PS5 from you if you wiped your ass with it. 100%.
I wiped my ass
You
with
wanna
my
know what?
amazing experience.
PS5 may have beat toilet paper in Google's top searches, but after people realized they couldn't find a PS5, toilet paper started winning again.
Yeah.
There's truth to that. But there for months, like, it was tough to find toilet paper, damn it. So
Well, it's pretty tough to find a PS5. You know, go for it. I still haven't gotten mine, man. Oh shit! I was even gonna do a Christmas present thing, but I can't even fucking get my own.
Yeah.
At this point, if I get one, I would just give it as a Christmas present and be like, "Sorry, I couldn't get mine, but you know what? Take yours. Tis the season."
And now there's like console pieces coming out online where they're going to release the plates on the side of the PS5 in colors and whatnot, so you can legitimately wipe your ass with the PS5 and bam, put some new plates on it, you're good to go.
There it is.
So
there it is.
PS5 is outselling Xbox consoles on the resale market at a rate of nearly 2 to 1. What that really means is the value of the Sony hardware is much higher than Xbox, and we kind of knew this was going to happen. Because you have a Series S and an X, and they're no way really comparable because power differences, cost differences, hardware, like hard drive capacity differences is massive. So yeah, that's part of it, but also the PS5 is a more refined console. I'll put it out there, and feel free to hate on that statement, but the PS5 seems to have a much better experience, and I'll just say DualSense 3D audio. Those two things are a much bigger deal on the PS5 than people who are complaining about the Series X controllers being too small and cramping their hands. Like that's news. Yeah,
It's awkward because usually the Xbox had the wider controllers and they actually felt better. That's why the Xbox 360 was so damn popular, was because the controller just felt better than a Sony PlayStation controller. Sony caught up to that finally 5 generations later, and now it seems to be feeling better. One thing I did want to add on top of that is most people have probably seen the teardowns of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, and they might have been worrying about the cooling capabilities and the heat and all this other jazz. And what they're not realizing is that it's fine. Like, it's not ideal, but it's fine for the console as long as you give it open air. It's a big box. Obviously, the PS5 is huge compared to the monolith that you could consider the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Refrigerator?
Yeah, the refrigerator. But at the end of the day, most people prefer the PS5. And the thing that does it, and I'm gonna say it again because we talked about it fucking months ago, is that it has more exclusive titles. It has the games. The Xbox, it's got Halo Infinite coming out in a year.
That's bad.
And I mean, if you here you are, you can have everything the Xbox has. So until there's exclusives for the Series X and S, like there's really no reason to buy the hardware. Yeah. So PS5 cooling has constantly been debated online.
Here's the thing about that. All right, so the thermal transfer pads, like I've seen the teardown and the breakdown, and yes, you can service that. The liquid metal on the CPU is one big thing. But one thing that people really glance over is that the PS5 is extremely serviceable. There is when you break apart the Series X, I mean it's got an aluminum block in the middle of it, and it's pieced together. It's sandwiched on two sides, and yeah, you can break it apart, but there's not a whole lot you can service on it. The PS5 is actually really serviceable. You can change out thermal paste. You can change out the thermal pads. There's
a shit ton of screws, but outside of that, pretty.
That said, the VRM heat sinking capability is not up to snuff on the memory.
That seems to be the heat spot.
They did get a. They went to the manufacturer and said, "Hey, can we run these memory chips this hot?" And they said, "Yep." And they even signed off on it and said, "You absolutely can, and we will supply you it's like a warranty supply." So, like if a unit comes back and they need more memory chips from the manufacturer, they will replace them for free based on those specs and the temperatures that they're running. So, I see where people get nervous about temperatures and shit like that, but you have to remember that the console is designed to run at those temperatures. It's not like your PC where you need to like really make sure you ramp your temperatures down so that way you can play the most highest performance graphics fidelity. If you're buying a console, you're buying it to play a game that just simply works. That's it. That's it. And as long as the game works, you have nothing to say. If it goes to when you get to a PC side where you want to play the same game on PC, that's on you to build that hardware and keep it cool the way it needs to be. The developers don't care for that. But when developers make games for consoles, they design them specifically for those specs. So big difference there. I just wanted to throw it out there.
And I mean, people are seeing 70 to 80C coming off these memory modules. That's toasty. I will agree.
It's toasty, but it's not deadly.
Yeah, if it's rated for it, is it a 10-year console? It might be. And that's the point we're trying to get across is if the hardware is optimized, if the wafers are optimized to run at this degree on a constant basis, there's server farms out there that run 8090C all day and have for years at full throughput. Sometimes it can handle it.
There's actually the way the chips are designed today, they're actually able to tolerate up to 100C, which is insane to me. But yeah. Now we all know, engineering wise, we all know that the hotter you run your electronics, the shorter the lifespan eventually. But it feels like we're reaching that point where doesn't matter because of the way we're building them, or I don't know. We're kind of in that weird limbo, I guess, of what tolerance really is. Because it used to be anything over 80C, man. Woo, screw off.
And now 110C is kind of the norm for like the threshold for the quality of silicon wafer. And if you're sitting at about 80 under max load, that's still kind of your 70% rule of, longevity. Like it's going to be just fine.
Yeah. You're well, we used to do it by scale. So like if you were hitting like 80C, you were shortening the lifespan about 2 years for every X years that you were running it. So if you expected to build a 10-year machine, but you're running at 80C, then you're more likely to get about a 6-year machine. That was the theory, but it's getting blown out of the water anymore. So
right.
Anyway, sorry, we could go balls deep into this for the rest of the night, and it's not
really
the point is that your consoles are designed to spec and they'll be just fine.
So let's put it this way, Zane, you've had some good comments. The Apple, whatever the over-the-ear phones at $550, those look pretty sweet. I got to say that's way too much friggin' money, but if it's a true 3D audio scape that is like somehow rendered within the hardware, I don't know, man, that's worth some pretty big money in itself. I got to check it out first before I even think about spending over $500. But that's kind of harkens back to what we're talking about with PS5 hardware. Is what makes it so special is the peripherals are optimized for better gaming experience. And I've heard nonstop about how good the DualSense is, about how the haptic triggers enhance the gameplay to where you can feel resistance as you're using different weapons, as you're interacting with environments, and as they play like sound bites through the controller in the haptic motors, and how much different the gameplay is, and how Microsoft has already come out and made mention that they will involve haptic feedback in the Series X and S controllers next year. So it's obviously that big of a deal. That's part of why the PS5 is special. And I know we are PS5 fanboys here on the stream, but that's really why, because it's a little bit more refined than the Xbox.
Well, you were on team Xbox prior to the PS5, right?
No, I PS4.
Oh, you're a PS5. Oh, okay.
It was before PS4. I was team Xbox 100%.
Okay.
Even through the Red Ring of Death.
I was gonna say I thought that was our difference. Is you were an Xbox fan and I was the PS fan. But
I want Microsoft to be that good, but they've kind of failed me. I didn't buy the VCR because of it. Yeah. So we are headed on 7:58. The Game Awards are wrapping up. Everybody needs a pee break. Guys, we will come back in a few minutes, probably like 8:03-ish. Hunker down. We will see you here pretty shortly. I don't want to cut everybody short, but my eyes are floating. So.
Oh, we got plenty. We got plenty coming up. We ain't done yet, man. Today's a big day. Woo!
It is. Guys, thanks for hanging on. We'll see you shortly.
Cheers.
Spinning colors, paint a picture not so easy on the eyes. Let's give it one more try, all on another, just to make it through the night. Tell me everything will be alright. Only lonely, alone tonight, telling secrets they held inside. Face it, your moment is long since died. But I'll go on forever. Take what you wanted from me. Now you're going to leave again. It's over forevermore. Just what you wanted to see. Rip the heart out of me again. It's lying on the floor. Misdirection, telling me no lies. I can't decide what it takes to die. And it seems that things have changed. and take my hand, and take my hand, and take my hand. Take what you wanted from me. Going to leave again. It's over forevermore. Just what you wanted to see. Rip the heart out of me again. It's lying on the floor. Take what you wanted from me. Now you're going to leave again. It's over forevermore. Is this what you wanted to see? Rip the heart out of me again. It's lying on the floor. The world is not against you. Just take a breath, you're turning blue. It's the emptiness surrounding a broken girl who came unglued. We must reconnect all the pieces and lead this on to bury the path that keeps breaking us. Admit to the fact that you can hold on. And I found out a simpler way to extract your selfish ways. It's the empty smile you're faking that shows the lack of change. Still the thought of you just fading is just too much to take. We must reconnect all the pieces and lead this on to bury the path that keeps breaking us. Admit to the fact that you can hold on.
Welcome back to Nerds Deep, guys. Game Awards still kind of cracking. Bunch of nonsense going on. So Spider-Man Miles Morales has just kind of released a new mode in an update. It is Performance RT mode. So we have performance capped and maintained at 60 frames per second while adding ray tracing. So that game looked really good already. In the footage I've seen, the ray tracing is pretty impressive. I'm not saying it's the biggest amount of ray tracing difference I've seen, but definitely noticeable, and it's just good. The game runs great. It looks great on PS5 and 4, and this mode definitely helps that. So here we are on AMD tech and AMD GPU processors, and we have ray tracing enabled. So it's next gen, I guess. It's not quite as good as what NVIDIA can do, but it's still decent.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go. Bill, what do you have to add to that?
So the AMD actually is a pretty good card. It's pretty solid. I looked at the benchmarks comparatively to the NVIDIA cards, and AMD is catching up. Now, longevity of the units and supply and demand is still a thing. It really it comes down to the VRAM, and it also comes down to the DDR6. So the the newer NVIDIA RTX cards come with something called DDR6X, which actually run at a faster processing time. This presents a problem. You can't go wrong with a 6800 XT, but I'm really curious to see how the drivers and everything kind of plays out. I remember very succinctly the 5700 XT being a problem card with weird frame dropouts and stuff like that.
5600.
It was 5600.
Yeah, and the 5700 just sucked.
Yeah.
XT was supposed to be great, and it botched release, bad VRAM, overclocked, all that.
Right. That's a lot of numbers to keep in my head because of the fucking naming conventions.
It's so terrible.
But the 6900 XT that they came out with, I watched the benchmarks on that thing, and far and away it blows the 3080, right? So I just lost my thought process because I just went down the rabbit hole of recalling all the model numbers.
Yeah, and it's jargon at this point. At least
it really is starting to become jargon. But again, all right. Rewind. All right. So AMD is chasing NVIDIA's tails, albeit they're dropping the price point $500 less than another card. But that's how they're doing it, is by dropping that GDDR6X RAM, which NVIDIA still has a hold on. Now, whether or not that actually makes a difference is kind of a moot point, considering where we're at in these games. We haven't seen anyone really take full advantage of the PCIe 4.0 Express Lane. These things will come into play later on. So if you're looking at these cards like you want them now to be on top of your game, you're wasting your money. Most games are going to run just fine on the 3000 series. They're going to run just fine on anything that you buy in the 20,000s or the 2000 series on the NVIDIA side. I think the only thing we're looking for at this point is 4K.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're playing 4K on a 27-inch monitor, you're just stupid. There is no point in hitting 4K unless you're at least blasting a 60-inch monitor with that thing. And it better be a wraparound. There is a point to be made. I was looking at the oh my God, what was it? Was it a Samsung? It was like it was basically like a 27 by 27, so 40, 50. It was like a 58-inch like wraparound monitor that was ready to push 4K at the same time. I want to say it was like a G12 or something like that. It was anyways, it was like at a 1000R. So it literally just encompasses your view, and it replaces two 27-inch monitors. Very impressive, and that's where I see where it kind of makes sense. But I don't know. Other than that, you're just kind of blowing money for no purpose. What are you going to drive like 4 different panel monitors around yourself and stare at your neat little 4-panel grid? Like I don't know.
Isn't that fun? Or you get the little mirrors. They kind of like.
I'm trying not to be so pessimistic.
But to me, it's tough, man. If you and I'm just kind of crapping numbers, but if you want a good 40-something inch 4K monitor at a good refresh rate of 3 milliseconds or less, you're spending well over $1,000. And to me, that's not really. It's not really feasible. So when 3/4 of your gamers still play 1080, and 1440 by that same regard is still a much better improvement over 1080. And I kind of feel like sub 40-inch monitors that are affordable, number one, because who runs one monitor? I think 1080p, 1440p is still kind of where it's at. And all these new generation cards handle those specs no problem at whatever ultra setting you want to find. There's just 60 FPS to 200. Like it's just no problem.
Here's where I think monitors need to go in order to make this a legitimate thing. Is imagine two 27-inch monitors stacked on top of each other, and then do that 3 monitors wide total. That's where you get the fully encompassed view. You feel like you're in a completely seamless panel. It's covering your 180-degree vision, your peripheral. And it's running at 4K. That's where I see it, where it kicks in. But there is no monitor on the market yet that does it.
Right.
And that's fine. At least we're creating the technological purpose to have something so ridiculous in our home.
I just think it's crazy how we're now reaching a hardware level where peripherals have to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's been. If you game at 1440p on Tomb Raider, you need the highest end graphics card to touch it on ultra settings, and still it's like 30-ish frames per second on average.
Right.
And now it's like we're one generation, like 6 months later, and your mid-grade cards can handle that same game in 4K. No problem. It's 60.
The only other way that I see it paying off right now is VR. Which
oh, yes.
that's really where it pays off. Right now it doesn't do anything else for the casual user other than the fact that you can hook up 4 or 5 monitors and stare at your multiple panels of whatever.
Well, Phil, let's address the elephant in the room since you brought up VR, and here we are, PS5 fanboys, and nobody owns one, but here we are.
Zhang owns one. Zhang's a dick.
By the way, Zhang also said that you're a size queen coming off.
I am a size queen. I'll admit. Bigger the better, baby.
Wait, what did Zhang say?
Zhang said Jeff is coming off as a size queen.
A size queen? What does that mean?
He cares a lot about size.
Yeah. Very, very long is very good.
If I'm gonna get a summer sausage, I ain't getting no linky dink. I'm getting
I don't need no
dog.
I don't need no sausage. I want the whole kit and caboodle. So
give me the moose, not the cow.
Oh my God, here we go. Zang, damn it. Chode monitors. I don't need short and fat. I want that long boy. So you're killing me, Zang.
The ultra wide.
Said I'll take the skinny, not the beefy.
Oh, so PSVR 1.0 was pretty groundbreaking in how good it was and how well it worked. I'm not saying it was the top spec for the day, but it was pretty damn close. If I remember right, it was like within 90% of the the Oculus, whatever at the time, the Quest, the
Give or
Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty on point.
So that being said, this is like your freaking Wii plug-in accessory for the PlayStation. Next year, if not the year after, there's going to be a PSVR version 2 running off the PS5, and it's probably going to be pretty nasty.
That's the
So-
idea. That's well, I think that's what we're expecting, but there's been no patents that I have seen so far. I've been watching the patent thing on what Sony's doing. I think Sony is actually focusing on minimizing the PS5 before they put out the PS5 VR. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, you would think, because you have to get over the hurdle of $400 to $500 and then be like, oh, by the way, $350 for a PS5 VR. You're like, son of a bitch, I just got my damn console.
Yeah.
So you have to think that there's going to be at least a year in between there.
And
It-
they did say that the PSVR, the first generation, will work on the PS5, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet they're probably going to wait at least 2 years before they release a PSVR 2.0.
I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to go that long.
Year to 2 years, I would say.
And they should, because they have to let hardware get out there first. It's just, it's tough.
There's a lot to digest here, because when you're talking about VR technology, it's good enough for now. However, it's not matching up to PC standards, right? So if you have PC VR, what Oculus, whatever, you're faring way better than the PS4 VR. Miles and away. Just the way that it's set up, just the way that it handles and the way it looks. Not only that, but there's not a lot of developers chomping at the bit to develop VR games. It's getting there, but the demand is not quite there. Billy, you
I
want
was
to chime
just
in on
gonna
that?
say that the one downside to like console VR versus like PC VR company, or those games, a lot of Oculus and a lot of those other ones have a massive, a bigger library of games than
Right.
the console VRs have right now as well. So that's another big thing that's kind of differentiating them as well. Is if you get the ones for PC, they just have more games, and a lot of developers a lot of the VR developers that are developing big games for VR aren't really pushing them towards the console side, because the console side isn't quite powerful enough yet.
Yeah, no. And the other part, the other part too, is that the console side. All right, everybody always makes the argument that the consoles are going to go the way of the dodo, because eventually people are just going to start buying PCs because they're more powerful anyway.
And that's an even greater argument in the past 24 months than it ever was, mind you. But go ahead.
Well, right. So these new consoles are putting in the RDNA 2, whatever architecture, things like that, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
The reason I don't think that consoles are going to go away is because people appreciate that small package they hook up to their TV. They don't have to buy a whole new computer. It's kind of like back in the days when you could get like a pre-built HP at 333 megahertz, which was considered top of the freaking line. And it just worked. You didn't have to do anything. It just worked. And then they started introducing bloatware, and then HP tanked because they suck.
Yeah, they did.
It's kind of like I feel like a lot of people think that consoles are going to go away because PC is the master race when it comes to games, and PC will always be better than consoles. That's not the point. Consoles are meant there to just plug in and just play. And so I don't think they're going to go away. And what I'm hoping is that they bring in this VR tech that, yeah, maybe you spend an extra $300 on top of that console. But guess what? You didn't have to build your own PC and save money to do it. It just works. And it works well. The only thing they need to solve for is excuse me, motion sickness, and then the whole idea of like crashing into things around your house. When I was trying out the VR at my brother's house, there was actually boundaries that were set up. So when you walked outside of those boundaries, it would show you really right in front of you, real time, what you're about to walk into. So it would take you out of the game and say, "Hey, you're about to walk into your fireplace."
Dumbass, take a step backwards.
Right,
Yeah.
but it did it before you got to that point of crashing into it, and I'm not sure that the console's really caught up to that.
Not yet.
No, I don't think PSVR does not have something like that. And I know
Not at all. It's just lights.
Yeah, with Oculus, I know that they've even gone as far as you actually hand draw your
Right.
border out. And then there's also, when you're setting up your space, there's these little lines that come off of like things that are on the floor within your area. So if you got like a jacket on the floor, it'll show you that there's something there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool how they've done taking precautionary measures into making sure you're not breaking shit in your house.
Yeah.
And the motion
So-
sickness thing, they do have some things that help with that, but I don't think they're fully there.
Well, you can also just take that little pill. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like a blue little. It looks like a Viagra, remember, right?
Dramamine.
Yeah, Dramamine. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on.
So, yeah, we could talk. We could divulge.
We could beat that one to death. Yeah.
And the fact is, tech isn't quite there, and it's come 1,000 times leaps and bounds in the past 3 years than it had in the past 20. Because VR has been a thing since I believe, the late 70s, definitely the 80s.
80s, not late. Well, late 70s was the concept. It really didn't come into fruition until the what did they set those things up? Those big ass machines. God, I forget what they were called.
But I've actually seen a couple of
Jesus
articles
Christ.
saying that there was VR. There were startings of VR tech being talked about in the late 60s.
Late 60s, but here's the thing: is it didn't actually it didn't come into fruition until about, I want to say, the 80s, because they were barely able to render polygons. So the first initial VRs were based on very rudimentary polygon renderings. It was a basic shooter game, and you were standing in a circular pit thing to make sure that you wouldn't just like fall off, but like you would have your little gun and you would just move forward and then just point in space. But that was about, so you had to have like a helmet that hung on your head.
Like 40 pounds.
You had a base station that you had to have. They had the race car units. Gosh, what am I hold on.
We're reaching way back.
It goes way back, because I remember playing on this thing when I went to the St. Louis Zoo. Hold on. Nope. I gotta look it up now.
Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy. Oh my god. By the way, the boxing game was the most realistic one, because when he got punched in the face, it actually looked like he got punched in the face.
It's kind of really, and that unfortunately was like the only good thing Virtual Boy had. That red and black contrast was not great on the eyes.
Virtuality.
Are you having a stroke over there?
No, it's not. I don't smell toast. Okay, it was Virtuality, and they were the ones that developed the VR arcade machines that I'm talking about. You can go Google it yourself. That's the one that I played on as a kid. They had a pod and they had a stand up. That was back in 1991. That was the first feasible virtual reality.
I'm just glad you're not dating yourself, because that would maybe seem like you're kind of old. I did want to say PS5 restocks are coming to Walmart, and Walmart is actually actively stopping scalpers like Brickseek and some of the other namestays that have taken thousands of units from American households. So there's that, because we're about to get into some.
We are going to get a supply. So the same thing goes with the. Oh, first of all, if you're a scalper for the graphics cards and the PS5 consoles or any consoles or any graphics cards right now,
Anything.
fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I need you to just moonwalk right off the planet. We are
Can't do that unless they
fuck-
think it's flat Earth.
and everybody's ruining it, and I'm about to go on a tangent. All right, let's
So-
move on to the Game Awards.
Yeah, let's just do it. It's wow. Yeah, the Game Awards have a lot of shit going on, and it's still happening right now. Weirdly,
They were supposed to end an hour ago, but here we are. And I stopped taking notes because we got into this stupid ass VR argument.
sorry, Phil. I knew that was a hot topic. And
Ugh. All right. Well, let's start with what we saw at the beginning, right? So when we cut into it, it was already like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours deep. Something
Yeah.
like that. Something
hour
like
and a half, which sucks because it kind of ruined the show in a way because we had it all sanctioned and set up, and this damn Game Awards just is a mess. I mean, it's just still coming at you right now. I mean, Zhang's commented on it a few times. Wow, there's
it's
a lot
an absolute shit show for the most part. There's a lot of filler in there.
of problem, but it's a mess to cover.
However, when we did cut into it, there was one game that popped up while we were watching that totally made me lose my shit. And it was called Back for Dead.
Back for Blood.
Or Back for Blood. Sorry, you're right. And it was pre-alpha gameplay. Looked totally sick. Sounds like it's multiplayer with up to 4 people, right? So
Yes.
It kind of reminded me of like a supercharged
Thank you, right, man.
Dead
100%.
Nation. Oh, are you pulling it up? Nice.
Yeah.
It was like a supercharged Dead Nation, which Left 4 Dead 3. Shut up, Zhang.
It is though.
But the one thing that was like disappointing but also cool at the same time is it had a June 22nd release date, so that means next year, thankfully.
That's a ways.
But the game looks freaking awesome. Now, the trailer footage, of course, is going to be pristine because it's obviously rendered out. But when you get to the gameplay footage itself, it still looks freaking sweet. The part that I liked about it was the scale of the monsters that you were seeing. So you had your typical like little, and then you had your big monsters that are like they crawl under the like if you're going into like a garage parking garage thing, like they're like ducking under that to get to you, and like
That's so awesome.
there was so much good stuff. It's 100% Left 4 Dead 3. Yeah. But it's
I mean,
called,
I had it on
it's
360.
called Back for Blood. Zhang, thank you.
Yes, Zhang. It's not the third installment. Ish.
It's a very now when we were watching this trailer, that was all that was going on in the chat. It's Left 4 Dead 3. It's Left 4 Dead 3. But no, it's not. It's not Left 4 Dead 3.
Technically, it isn't Zhang, but it looks amazing.
What's a synonym of left?
Okay. Stop with your goddamn common sense. All right.
By the way, who made him
No.
VIP?
No, if you left, then you're not back.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Really ruined it
Done.
for you. Done.
Shut the stream down. Zhang's out.
Booted.
It's Back for Blood. The game looks amazing. So the other game that came out, or world premiere, I guess. Excuse me.
Exactly.
Was it Scavengers? I think it was Scavengers. And I forgot to take notes on it. Oh yeah, that's right, because it sucked. But we did have some announcements on Best Game Awards. No Man's Sky got the Best Ongoing Game Award, which was well deserved. I have to give I have to give props to the team behind No Man's Sky because they realized they launched a shitty product, but they kept after it, and they did not fail. When that last update came out, the game is gorgeous, and it plays well. It plays a lot better. It feels like we finally got the thing that they were promising. So I was stoked that they got that award. The next game, Billy, I'm going to give you a heads up. It's that Callisto Protocol.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
game looks freaking awesome as well. Now, there's a common theme here. We've got zombies, we've got aliens, we've got Dead Space. It's kind of trying to combine all these horror elements that we've all
Where the
been
hell-
waiting for.
Where the hell was this freaking gameplay trailer like a few months ago when we were starving for like awesome shit up and coming, and then we got nothing, and now it's like we're having to backpedal like nonstop because there's so much awesome shit and
Yeah.
nonstop. Tonight. Damn.
You know what I think what happened is that Doom Eternal came out, and then they came out with the expansion pack, and all the game companies went, shit, we got to do
Thank
that
you,
too.
gods. Uh-oh.
That's
Yeah, Hades is really good. I'll give that to you for sure. Hades
that's
is good.
that's what it feels like. But when I saw the trailer for Callisto Protocol coming out, I mean that just looked incredible.
Oh my god,
Uh,
I'm stupid, guys.
What's happening?
I forgot to
So
transition it
am I.
over. I was playing the trailer, but I didn't.
Did you
transition the
literally
scene.
just get lost watching it? All right.
Yes.
So
We've done it all night. It's okay, Billy.
I'm sitting here watching it, and I looked over and I was like, I don't have that live.
the chat's not even lined up in the fucking panel, dude. All right.
That is.
Nope. It says once in a our mythos behind all
Huh.
guys hurts.
Weird. I'll fix that.
Oh man, there's some really good ones. And Phil and I-
Anyways, yeah. So let me talk through this just a little bit. I hope
Go
this is the right trailer, right? So it's like another alien zombie game. So immediately I thought Dead Space. That was my first thought. It's like, oh, dude, we got a new Dead Space. Sweet.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Turns out it's not a Dead Space game. It's even better, and you don't even realize what you're getting into because we don't have enough gameplay. We don't have enough trailer stuff. The developer came out and he was like, as typical alien move. Even the developer said, we're going to try to make the single most scariest game on PC and console. So I fully expect that. Like, if you're going to have the balls to come out and say that, sure. But this totally reminded me of a Dead Space game. And it's a short trailer, so it's not a big, there's nothing really to look at.
But if you're claiming to be the scariest game out there, I'm already 100% down with that.
Hell yeah, dude. Plus, I have an affinity for space. I'm a sucker for space.
Same.
So,
Space is inherently just scary as shit anyway, because everything's gonna kill you. Just breathing out there is
just breathing. Yeah.
It's like it's aliens in the day.
We did we did have some quick knockoffs that I collected for best of whatever. We had best art direction that went to Ghost of Tsushima. I expected that. Yeah, well deserved. Best action game threw me off because it went to Hades. I'm not quite sure how that happened. We did have. I feel like that's a throwaway category, anyways. But best VR alternate augmented reality game was Half-Life Alyx. I think we all kind of expected that, but at the same
100%.
time,
It well deserved. Best
Yeah.
VR.
it looked really. The VR was so well done that I kind of expected that. We also had the best sports game, which was stupid as hell. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That got that sports
How
game.
bad that category was. Oh my god, Tony Hawk, best sports racing. There was like 3 categories. It's Tony
They had
Hawk.
racing. Yeah. They had Drift. They had Drift 5 in there. Tony
Yeah,
Hawk beat out
Dirt
Drift 5.
You know,
Dirt
that's
Hawk.
I honestly I kind of enjoy that just for the sheer fact that it was a reimagined game to nowadays generation, and it's great that an older game won an award in nowadays categories.
Best sports game. Do you not understand that? That's crazy. Yeah, FIFA, NBA blow, 100%. But racing is also in that category. That will not be the case next year because we've got Gran Turismo coming up. What? Yeah, we've got some new Forza action. The racing scene is going to change in 2021.
So, even better was the most anticipated game. We had very many games on the list, but Elden Ring came out on top as the most anticipated game, which is fine. There were 3. It was Doom. I'm trying to remember the rest of them that they wanted a sequel to. Which, by the way, if you want a sequel to a game, first of all, you're a simp. Stop doing that. I don't want sequels. I want originals. All right. I want games with story. I want original games. I'm so tired of recycled Call of Duty. My God.
Well,
Anyway.
what about sequels in the sense of like you have a story-based game and then
Yeah.
they create
All right.
continuation?
So they did have the new God of War sequel, right? That was in the list. They
Ragnarok, yes.
Ragnarok,
Which is
yeah.
damn good. You
Right.
heathen, Phil. You heathen.
Now, yes, the Call of Duty sequel recycled crap. I can agree with.
Come on, like some games just need to die. Anyways, Elden Ring got that one, and then we moved on to another world premiere. I want to say it was Endless Dungeon. Now the trailer leading up to the gameplay footage of this game was not impressive at all. In fact, Jeff and I were sitting there watching it, like, what the hell are we watching? But then we saw it go to the isometric view, Diablo style, if you will.
Yes.
And that's when we realized, oh man,
Endless
this actually looks kinda
That looked like okay.
yeah.
I
So-
like, and we saw that Phil. Sorry to interrupt, but we saw this a few times with this Game Awards. Is they have the theatrical trailer, cinematic trailer, and we're like, okay. And then we see the gameplay. We're like, oh
Yeah,
shit!
we were thinking it was like a freaking like Guitar Hero for vocals. So we were like, what the hell are we doing here? Like in a space bar
yeah.
playing drums?
And then the gameplay, we're like, oh shit, that looks good.
Yeah.
I want some gameplay.
They should have just freaking cut to that and been like,
Yeah.
hey, we got this
Really
whole thing
trailer.
going on. Because I was wondering, I was like, what the hell is the
Yeah.
penguin doing at the keyboard? And we were
Yeah.
we were trying to figure out, and then it was like the guns come in and start blazing, and we're just like, whoa, wait a second, something's going on here. And it's in that cool animation style. It's almost cartoony, like a Saturday morning cartoon style art. And then the gameplay finally clicks in, and then it all starts to kind of make sense. It feels like a isometric Borderlands style game without the cell shading and all that jazz. You know, like it's like goofy, cartoony, and funny with high-powered action. Just it in the there it is in the isometric view.
I'm assuming this is a roguelike.
Yeah, roguelike. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But man, does it look good. I mean, as far as what the trailer showed and what the gameplay showed, I'm like, damn, screw the trailer. The gameplay
So here's the creme de la creme. And I don't really care whatever I saw throughout the entire Game Awards. Crimson Desert. Billy,
Yeah.
please cue this
What?
up.
The fuck was that?
And
Yet again, the gameplay or the trailer, cinematic trailer looked like okay.
I
And
didn't
then-
even care. I didn't even
The
care.
gameplay was so freaking good.
We were
It was
laughing.
too much to suck
we were-
in.
We were laughing at the way this game started out. And then we started seeing the actual gameplay. And
And we're
my
like,
God.
oh shit. Oh
I
shit.
feel like we just need to shut the fuck up and turn the volume up and let this whole thing play through just because of how awesome it was. Because by the end of it, like I was just shitting bricks. I was like, oh my God, I want this now. I want this now on my PC. I don't care. Just give it to me. I don't even care if it's finished. Just give me what you have.
Let it be buggy. I want
Yeah.
it now.
I just want to play what you've got. So we made a joke early on, like, "Ooh, look at the water."
Yeah. Oh, like the guys walking through the snow looks so cheesy, but
Mhm.
then 30 seconds later, everything about the gameplay footage was rock solid.
This
So-
game goes from very, very like, oh my god, this all looks really super cheesy. We've already seen there's the snow playing.
Yeah, look at oh my god, that's terrible.
We're like, I was even joking. I was like, oh, it looks like an upgraded Oblivion. You know, they got like little.
I was like, oh, what's Assassin's Creed doing up here already?
Oh yeah, the Assassin's Creed. I was like, shut up, dude. It's not Ubisoft. And it wasn't. Like
No.
it turned into something like right there. There's like gorgeous scenery right on the top.
Oh,
And, it just turns into this the way they're kicking the leaves around and like the dynamics of what we're seeing. It's like, holy crap, this thing is taking my breath away. And then it turns into a beautiful hack and slash. It goes through the fight sequences. There's the ground catching fire when you cast a fire spell that burns the enemies and burns the ground. And then all of a sudden there's fucking laser beams. Like it's just like we're just sitting here going through like
lightning and shit.
what is
It was-
that? Yeah, lightning, laser beams. Like it's just like, oh my god, give this game to me right fucking now. There's dragons that come flying through. Here we go walking through a gate. And then it almost seemed like a Dark Souls on steroids.
Yes. I mean, the dragons, like riding the dragon and fighting on the dragon, like it's so overdone. But later in this trailer, when it shows you riding the dragon and having to dodge all these mid-air attacks, it looked sick. Better than anything I've ever seen. By a wide margin. I was super impressed.
This game, just watching this game trailer.
Watch everyone shit on it in
Yeah,
the internet next week. Everyone's gonna hate this thing. And Phil and I are like, dude, I want this now.
day one. This is the first time I've watched a game trailer where I'm like, I absolutely want this day one. I don't even care what it's about. I want to do shit like that on the trailer.
Dude,
I
the
want
game
to play the game just like that.
That's like Ghost of Tsushima good. Man, that looks good. They are rich.
Right there. When they throw the fire, yeah, it just catches the grass on fire. I hope that all stays in the game. And the other part that there's puzzles. There's like you can walk.
Oh man, it looks
Like they show this really quick scene where you're just like walking to make a puzzle solve on the trailer.
Ooh.
And then it just starts morphing into more and more and more. Like there was so much on top of this game. Like you at first you're thinking, oh, it's just another hack and slash, but then all of a sudden there's puzzles, there's all kinds of gates being opened. You're flying on a dragon now? Like where did the dragon come from?
It's like 8K, man. Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah, and then the cliff climbing. It's like what? Now we're in Naughty Dog. We're doing what? Drake's Fortune. Like
Fuck, it looks so good.
there's so much. There's so much.
Fucking lightning. The fucking lightning.
There it is. There's the fucking lightning. There's so much just
So much
captured. Like
Look
whoever
at
put
AI
the trailer.
on that castle.
There's the castle walls getting blown out by cannon fire. There is so much packed into this trailer and gameplay footage that I don't even know what to make of the game. I just want to play it. I just want to figure it out. They've got me. And whoever put that together is a freaking marketing genius.
Yeah, you know they used to work for Final Fantasy because this is so much shit going on. You're like, oh, okay, you had my money 5 minutes ago. Stop it.
And Zhang, F you for Assassin's Creed Ghosts of Dragon's Horizon. First of all, it's not Ubisoft, and thank God for that. You know?
Yes, thank God.
The game freaking looks amazing, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I don't even care that it's coming out in winter next year. That was the most explosive trailer I have seen in, I don't know, since like the PS3. Like that was the first time I watched a trailer and I said, I want this game right freaking now. It's amazing.
It looks great. There's so much in that trailer. There's no way that game is half-assed. There's just no way. So yeah, I'm totally down with that game. There was another horror game that we kind of got a glimpse of, and we got a glimpse of it. It's not Odyssey, but man, it was shown at a Xbox gameplay showcase, and it was just cinematic trailer, and it came out, I don't know, about 30 minutes to go in the Game Awards.
Yeah, we'll skip over Fall Guys Ultimate because come on, get out.
Yeah.
What's the name?
No,
of the game?
Odyssey Elite Dangerous. What was that? 2021. It might have been Odyssey 2021.
Was it Evil West? Shit, Zang, thank you.
Oh,
crap.
Evil West. There you go. Evil West.
No, it wasn't Evil West. It was
Dead,
no. Damn it.
Ghost and Goblins Resurrection.
No.
Fuck Ghost and Goblins. Are you sure it wasn't Odyssey?
Well, there's not a game on this
It
list.
was
That
the
says
It was another zombie game, but it wasn't really impressive.
It was the one that was like the guy in the spacesuit with the little girl looking up at the sky.
Oh,
Returnal. You're talking about Returnal.
No.
well,
Damn it.
the game I'm thinking of, you guys didn't mention, was on the Game Award, and it's
No.
it starts with a P, I think.
Well, here's
The
how
one that
prepared
was-
we are.
The one that was reminiscent of Death Stranding.
Yes. Yes.
That's Returnal.
No, it's not.
No?
Nope. Son of a bitch. Zang, help us.
Zang, help us.
Oh man. I can't remember. It started with an S, I think.
Pragmata.
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 Oh, yeah, it was Pragmata.
Yeah. Anywho,
They didn't even show that, though,
Yeah.
during
No,
the
they-
Game Awards.
thinking of something else. Son of a bitch.
You
Not
might
helping.
be thinking of Returnal. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Returnal. But that was after Odyssey Elite.
I don't even see this Odyssey.
Have they announced Game of the Year yet? They're doing a lot of lead up. I don't know if I missed it while I was looking at other shit.
Or I'm sorry, it's Elite Dangerous Odyssey.
Elite Dangerous Odyssey.
Yeah, it's called Elite and then Dangerous Odyssey. Or
Last
no,
of
it's
Oh boy.
There-
So-
there's so many different ways that people are putting this out. It's called Odyssey Elite Dangerous is the official website. So
Okay.
it's elitedangerous.com/Odyssey. But-
Elite Dangerous Odyssey. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, this game looked great too. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to get behind it, but it looks gorgeous.
Zang, thank you for saying it. I know it's super risky for saying it, but I agree. Like, pick a game that played well. Don't pick a game that breaks boundaries just because it broke boundaries. Like, it was still a good game, but
Oh, are we going down The Last of Us 2?
yeah,
Okay.
Game of the Year. Boy, I'm so surprised. Yeah, it goes,
I honestly think Ghost of Tsushima really should have taken the cake. I mean,
Either
that
that
game.
you could make an argument for Animal Crossing. Like, it was really good as well.
Okay, hold on a second. You're gonna tell me that Animal Crossing was better than Ghost of Tsushima?
No, I'm not saying that personally. I'm saying overall, Animal Crossing sold more. It was, I guess, easier to sink that much more time on. Animal Crossing came at a really
So,
time for
the question becomes: is where do we categorize our what makes the best game of the year? Is it because of how much it sells, or is it because of how much depth it has? Like playability, action. You know what? We should talk about this later. But we should develop our own category.
I would say game of the year should be the best game that is the most popular game out there that people are talking about, what's trending the most, what's selling the most, and
Animal
what is
Crossing,
overall most popular among
Animal Crossing,
everybody.
hands down. By that logic, I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's a better
I
game,
It's Animal Crossing.
but yeah,
But here's the problem: is Animal Crossing has zero depth. There's
Right.
it's
It's
it's a grinder. It's
Yeah.
easy to play. It's family friendly. Whatever. But
where I'll argue Ghost of Tsushima was absolutely next gen worthy. It's gorgeous. It plays super fluid. It has cultural influences that most games don't even think about touching.
Oh. You mean it has a real fucking story to it?
Oh, and like you can do like black and white with like subtitles. Like, how cool is that? It's paying an homage towards, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Like, that's pretty freaking intense.
Yeah.
Oops, strong window. Way to go, Frank.
Where did the channel points go away to silence Frank?
I didn't take them off there.
What the
Someone
hell?
else was.
Yeah, cultural appropriation in a way, but those guys.
Before we say those words out loud. First of all, it was an awesome looking game. Period.
Yes,
That's it. And it had depth, it had story, it had action.
it pushed the boundaries of hardware.
Do what?
It pushed the boundaries of hardware, which
Yeah.
it that's tough to do in a good game. I'll put it that way. In a good game.
So, all right, moving on from that bullshit. The best sim strategy, obviously, was Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Player's Choice Award went to, hey, guess what? Ghost of Tsushima. You know why? Because it was the best game. Ugh.
Yeah,
I'm
Ghost.
just a little bitter. That's it. Just a little.
Yeah, but we talked so much about it and how good it was. And every update they make gives you more game for free, as well as a better looking game, better compatibility to these next gen console, to the PS5. Like, that's another reason why the exclusives mean that much more to a piece of hardware. Why
Right.
you would buy a PS5 over a Series X. Ghost of Tsushima is a great example. Straight up.
So the last note I had before before I could do anything else,
Oh my god.
let's pull Returnal up, because this was the next game where I was just like, bang, I definitely want to get into this. I don't even know how it plays. I don't even know what the point is. It just looks freaking fantastic. And I just want to play it. I just want to play this game. I don't even know. I don't even care. It reminds me of Space Engineers, only more glorious. I don't know, Billy, if you can even cue that up. Do you have that?
Got it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. I'm on a delay apparently. But this game, if this is really what's coming up on PS5, I mean, this game looks awesome.
Is this that Elite Dangerous?
Yeah. House Marquee. Yeah. Returnal. This game looks amazing. It's almost like a pairing to, I don't know. I remember watching somebody in chat scroll by going, it's like Bayonetta 3. But it's like
That sucks.
it's
It's like if Lost in Space was an
this
action
game was cool as hell. Are you kidding me? There's so much
Look,
dynamics going on. I can't wait for this game. I am so excited for console games just because of stuff like this. Like, I don't have to do anything else. I just plug it in my TV and I start playing.
And you know it's going to be 30 to 40 hours of awesomeness.
At
And-
least, and that's the best part.
I don't know.
$60 for like 30 hours of gameplay? Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's 30 hours of rock solid gameplay and tough to play on like normal or hard settings, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
That's great value for my money.
Yeah, I mean, you'll pay $12 to go to a movie for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Let's say the longest movie ever was about 3 hours, right?
Yeah, Titanic.
But
Correct.
$60 for a game that's going to last you over 8, 16, 30 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
$60, $70, I feel like that's kind of shitty charging that for video games.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, especially for garbage, but whatever. If you can like purchase it just for multiplayer at like $50 instead of the 70 whatever dollars for all of it, or the collector's edition, whatever. Yeah,
I think the name of the game for me now is well, Zang already put it in the chat. If you buy it new, I pick up most games discounted. I usually wait like a couple months after the game's release and then pick it up after I've watched reviews and seen that it's not buggy and they've got all the updates out of the way. I think the most important thing is Cyberpunk already out of the gate is 111 gigs. You know, there better be some improvement.
On PS4, it's 111 gigs with the update out of the box. That's
What was it? What was the install on PC? Do you know?
I think it was like 70 or 80 gigs.
Shit.
The only devil's advocate I can point out is we are gaining in technology. Space is going to start becoming more. There's reasons why they're now selling in upwards of 10 to 20 to 30 terabyte hard drives. I mean, you know, you got to realize things are becoming bigger and better, which means it's going to take up more space.
oh shit, Ice Queen. What? Bigger and longer.
Oh God, here we go with the beef.
I mean, all that graphic. Well, let's not talk about graphics on Cyberpunk right now. But when it's going to be graphically great, that's going to take up more space than games 4 years ago. I mean, games 4 years ago may take 20 gigs. Now they're going to take 100 because the graphics are
well, all
a million
right.
times more up.
So my thoughts on why it's bigger on consoles than PC is because of the inherent nature of updating the texture resolutions and making sure all the extra data is already there. Where on PC it can just be rendered on the hardware.
Exactly.
That said, there is so much more to cover that we can't cover here right now. We're right at time.
Yeah.
So I think we'll close it down for now. But I am excited about the future of games, especially especially what I saw today, the world premieres that came out.
It looks so good. There's some really good games coming.
Oh my God, Crimson Desert sold me, and I am so excited to see that game. I don't even know where to begin.
Phil, I wish we recorded our stream because we were shitting on that hard.
We did start
else, and I was looking at textures, and we were like, "This is stupid. What the hell is this?" And then we're both like, "Whoa, look at that gameplay!"
We're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I want that now. Like we were like converted in like 20 seconds.
It was like the first time we saw God of War on PlayStation 2.
Yes.
It was in that moment where like, holy shit.
Whoa. That's not a hack and slash. It's got puzzles and dragon rides that look crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking sign me up now.
Yeah. So I'm totally stoked about this. I think the Game Awards finally shut down. We'll circle back on that whole realm of goodness to get a full capture of it because we did kind of do it on the fly, building right up to this show. So we'll circle back next week with a bunch of more information. We'll get way more nerds deep into things. But anyways, Jeff, you have any closing comments?
No, I just wanted to say console gaming is alive and it is stronger than ever. And as we progress forward in the next few years with console gaming, as in Series X and PS5, what we're going to find is a stronger utilization for CPU cores, which is going to trickle in the PC world. As if I buy a 32-core Ryzen Threadripper, I'm going to murder games instead of you're only using 1 to 3 cores in a game, and it's just kind of is what it is, and the CPU is irrelevant. You're going to see that we're hitting the wall of the GPU out of the gate with consoles, and there will be a more focus towards CPU utilization, which needed to happen. That's my closing thoughts. Thank you, Zane, for the comments.
Billy, you got any closing thoughts?
Cyberpunk needs to fix their game, but it's still a fucking good game. I don't fucking.
Cool.
Cyberpunk 2099. My closing thoughts is you guys take care of each other, take care of yourselves. We'll see you next week, and cheers.
Cheers. I do have a raid, so we're
Let's
going
do
to raid Mr. Killing Hawk. He is playing Escape from Tarkov.
Killing what?
Killing Hawk. Fuck, it's hard to say.
All right, everybody stick around for the raid. Let's join Killing Hawk. Good man, great soul. He's from Canada.
All right, starting
Okay.
starting raid now. Make sure to type Killing Cock in his chat. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Thanks.